Yo, family, what's good? Welcome back once again to another daily live stream. We have another interesting bunch of sources to go through for today's stream, covering some recent insight that apparently has sent a lot of buzz throughout the Kaspa development community in regards to Uncle Stay Fun here, who's talking about the movement of ZK on Kaspa. Additionally, we've got some other big information regarding the Vprog element and how it's going to be beneficial to this move as well. Some building on top of what the entity, the man behind the Lemon Bush Capital, who wants to help build a $500 million investment fund for Kaspa. And then building off the video that I made a few minutes ago, we have some information regarding regulatory updates and much more on how it could be a very, very big thing for Kaspa coming through in the coming weeks and months, especially given the institutional sentiment and what they need or perceive for what they need to fix incoming crises. With that being said, family, welcome back once again. Hope you're doing very, very well. If you enjoy the stream to be doing this stuff daily, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, turn on that post notification bell. And we're going to get straight into the content right now. Bitcoin currently valued at $90,200. It's not really moving too much today, which is to be expected. I'm expecting to see some more volatility tomorrow and maybe a bit tomorrow, more so Wednesday, ahead of the FOMC meeting and the rate cuts. Depending on Jerome Powell's stance, we either see a lot of volatility and quite a significant move, or it will be little lackluster, dead cat bounce, and probably see us come back down a little bit going into the following week. We have Japan hiking their rates most likely. So Bitcoin not doing much right now. Kaspa has seemingly been outperforming Bitcoin as of late. It's currently only up 0.29% of the daily time frame, valued at 5.16 cents. Again, we are now currently trading within this support band right now, upper end of about 5.2 cents. We need to see Kaspa break above this zone for us to have a chance to see a push towards 5.5, 5.6, and then trade within the zone up here. It's possible to see that in the coming days, given the rate cuts and the potential bullish momentum that will follow that. But we don't see enough of a push. Kaspa will probably end up struggling to break above 6 and then start trading around this zone again, depending on the price of Bitcoin. But market seems to be doing better for Kaspa for the most part, holding strong around 5.1, which is a proven critical support level for Kaspa right now. And the developments coming out does seem to give some form of euphoric belief of what Kaspa's building and that we are most definitely in the right project. Across crypto right now, a lot of others are doing quite well. Ondo is currently up about 4%, and that's off the back of their investigation with the SEC finally coming to an end. We'll talk about that as well. And then I think Tao's up 5%. That's really, really good for Tao there. And many, many more going on. We can see the stock market's not really doing much, but it's still near all-time highs. So that's something to take note of and is quite important. Welcome back, Crypto Ghosty Bros. You did very, very well. And yes, indeed, if you enjoy the stream, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. So to get into it, first and foremost, just trying to crack it out straight off the bat. Uncle Stay Fun made a thread here, which the third part of the thread is not out just yet. He's released part 1 here, part 2 here, which I find part 2. The comical part about part 2 is that the start of the post got about 1,000 views. The second part of that in the thread, it's got 9,900 views. So it's done 10 times the volume and interaction as the first post, despite being a continuation of this one here. But still very, very important. And the third part will be coming out soon enough as well. We'll get into all this stuff right here and now. And this, we're also going to do a little bit of a kind of explaining or re-explaining more so what James Allen said here as well, which is a Cityscape, who, as a Web3 developer he basically gave his take and his understanding to try and make it easier for people to understand what is going on here, because in his words, and we're going to read through now and tell for ourselves as well, what was highlighted here was quite very technical and quite hard for the normies, if you will, to understand. So he helped break this down. So we're going to build off that as well in this stream. So the thread here, to start it off with, welcome back, LB bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. The Kaspa x ZK moment nobody is talking about. Everybody's talking about Zcash Starknet, ZK Stark scaling, but nobody's noticing the real signal hidden in today's thread. ZK proofs are massive. 200 to 100 kilobytes per proof. That's 10 to 15 normal transactions. ETH can't fit them without slicing. Bitcoin just straight up can't, and Zcash can barely handle it. This is a global bottleneck that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody can fix this or solve this. The only person that can is Kaspa. 99% of chains cannot handle foolproof submissions without congestion except Kaspa. Kaspa will support native stock, pre-compiles, and block sizes that can hold a full stock proof in one transaction. So one transaction, no slicing, no congestion, no bottleneck. Kaspa has the architecture necessary to handle ZK proofs at scale. Again, you can see, I mean, you should take the moment to read through this all for yourself. Talk about hashtags research, elastic block sizing, transient and persistent storage mass. Again, a lot of elements that might make it difficult for us, the normie, if you will, to understand exactly what this means or how this is important and how effectively Kaspa is preparing to handle full-size ZK proofs at layer 1 speeds. Well, there are a number of factors that we're going to build off. It's basically kind of just taking it from Cityscape here. So shout out to brother here. He's done a great amount of work for Kaspa recently as well. But one thing that I did see one of my community members and VIP members, Tony, states here, which is equally a very nice summary, is that to be more surprised, ZK proofs at the layer 1 speed, this is possible thanks to Vprogs as well. It makes other approaches like base rollup look primitive, or like band-aids a workaround. And the reason why, because layer 2 smart contracts exist, they were perceived as the necessity because layer 1s couldn't do it, but now Kaspa proving that layer 1s can do that is possible with Kaspa. The examples that James give here about how we are early, why this is such a big deal, why ZK systems are so important for Kaspa and for crypto, why ZK systems will dominate the next decade of crypto. Why is that? Well, the examples he gave, there were two he gave. And the reason why is when you go to a nightclub or a bar, right? You want to buy some alcohol, you want to go to a place that is only meant for adults, and the bartender, the bouncer, you're forced to give them your ID. Otherwise, they can't serve you unless you literally look old enough. If you're grey hair, balding, and look like you've got wrinkles, then you'll probably be let in without being checked. But otherwise, the bouncer's going to always ask for your ID. The bartender is always going to ask for your ID to check that you are of age to attend and enter the premises and to get alcohol, to get a drink. When you give them your ID, you give them your name, your full government name, which they don't need to know your name really. Just all they need to see is your age. They need to see, are you born? Well, to be 18 now, it's 2007. Damn, that's crazy to think. 2007, people born then are 18 years old. If you're born in 07, you are an adult. So all the bouncers need to see, all these people need to see are you born in 07 or further back? If the answer is yes, then you go in. But they get access to your full name, depending on what region you are in the world. Like I know in Elements in America, you get whether you donate blood and all the other things that James Allen has showcased here, all the extra external information that you have, that you are not you're providing here. Your sex, your height, your weight. Those are not showcased on UK driving licenses. So we have a little less information on our driving licenses in this country, but either way, you're still seeing, your driving license, all the extra information on that as well. But you don't need to see. All you need to see is literally the date that you were born. That's all you need to know, which is here. So in the example of ZK proofs, digitalization of ZK systems, it basically just sends confirmation proof that the question is asked, is the person of age? You get a yes or no answer without any extra information, and that's it. So this is a very big deal. ZK proofs allow for better privacy of the personal information, which with the current world we're going into right now of digitization and how everything, everyone's worried about CBDCs and in the UK, digital IDs, valid concerns, ZK proofs helps give us protection of our own identities. Because if hackers if as James said here, if it's a scammer or hacker can get hold of all of the information here, they have a field day. They can do impersonate you all they want. ZK proofs prevent and provide more security. The other example he gave here as well is also in regards to when you are attempting to rent or buy a house and you want to do a house viewing, right? When you want to do a house viewing, you have the pre-approval letter, which confirms, well, this is the preliminary approval letter, which basically confirms to the realtor that you have enough capital to be viewing this home to decide if you want to buy it or not. But again, as you can see here, you're given, the loan type, the loan amount, the purchase, like all this stuff here. You're given all the extra information that you just don't need to know. All you need to know is, can they afford the house? Yes, no. If you can, then let them come to the house viewing. If not, then send them away. Don't waste your time. Don't waste the person who actually is living in the house right now trying to sell it off, and don't waste their time either. Another benefit of ZK proofs is a simple yes or no, and the realtor, the middleman, has got to go through looking at extra information to, again, just there's no need for it. So that's a big reason why ZK proofs is something that is perceived, and I completely agree, is going to be the future, will dominate the next decade of crypto. And with Kaspa, it's eligible to happen on the layer 1, which everything else is not possible on a layer 1, which is huge, huge news. That is one element that's really, really big. And then we can go and swiftly move on to the second element here, which talks about the economics of ZK provers and why Vprogs turns Kaspa into the final computational layer. Now we're going to go through all of this bit by bit, but I'm going to just give a very quick analysis as well and rundown, just for those who don't want to have the read my PowerPoint section here. But effectively, to explain it, like, if you were 5 years old, because trust me, I would also like to have that benefit as well. If you imagine ZK proofs as like millions and millions of homework, school homework assignments, right? And the one teacher or number of teachers have to basically grade and sign all of them, in a certain period of time. The homework being the transactions or proof or whatever, and the teacher being the main blockchain in question, the layer 1. Vprogs, which are the very, very new innovative thing that Kaspa devs are trying to create, is basically a new way to organize all of these papers, these millions of homework papers, and allows the blockchain, the teacher, to grade all of them instantly, without having to wait around or having to filter through certain parameters. It just instantly all done, so it won't get slowed down. It won't have to make anybody wait in a long line, therefore making things more expensive as well. It makes the whole process super cheap and fast for everybody, which is a massive, massive benefit as well. So you can see here, ZK provers economics will define the next decade of blockchain infrastructure, not layer 1 versus layer 2s, not rollup versus monolith, but who can afford to generate, verify, and settle massive proof workloads at internet scale. I know James Allen also said that ZK Vprogs makes ICP completely obsolete. So ICP days, which we already knew were numbered, is most definitely numbered now, unless they can somehow innovate to change their model, but I don't know if they can or even will. And the uncountable truth is 99% of chains cannot handle future prover economics. And funnily enough, the video that I posted on my channel just a moment ago spoke about another critical element that people don't realize, which is 90% of cryptos are going to go to zero. This is one element to that, because with this new decade of crypto perceived to be coming, with ZK knowledge, ZK provers being a key element to that, the key thing we also hear from institutions and governments and what we need to see is decentralization, and not claimed decentralization, true decentralization. The video I made covered that in more detail. I'll talk about it in this stream as well, so don't worry about it. But true decentralization is basically impossible to see right now. Bitcoin and Kaspa are the only two that have, to my knowledge at least, are the only two that have true decentralization. Everything else, your XRP, your Solana, your Ethereum, they might claim decentralized layer 1, but there's a centralized entity behind it. So they control the majority of the token supply. They control how the validators, which doesn't make it decentralized at all. It's not controlled by the community, it's controlled by a small group of people. And we're going to get to that again in a moment. But basically, that's again just trying to build into the argument that 99% of chains are going to go to zero. It's going to be a very, very small number that will survive, and Kaspa is going to be one of them because it is decentralized and can also handle ZK proofs at scale. ZK proofs are expensive, not just computationally, but economically. Every proof of system ultimately runs into the same bottlenecks: proof generation costs, proof verification costs, chain congestions, latency limits, hardware scaling limits, amortization inefficiencies. Vprogs breaks this economic completely. So ultimately, ZK proofs are just a very, very expensive thing that causes a lot of bottlenecks, a lot of congestion. Vprogs completely removes that by letting the blockchain Kaspa finalize all of this proof at once instantly. Today, proof systems generate millions of proofs for layer 2 rollups, ZK bridges, ZK VMs, privacy circuits, layer 3s, recursive aggregations, all of which must eventually be settled somewhere. That somewhere cannot be congestible chain with block limits, fee spikes, latency penalties, mempool bottlenecks, node bloat. This is why most chains will collapse under proof of load, because they have elements integrated into their platform, into their protocol, and they have nowhere to send it. The key question becomes, who becomes the settlement layer for the ZK world? To win this role, your chain must have high throughput, Kaspa check. Low latency, Kaspa check. Uncontestable, Kaspa check. So copy Solana always gets congested. Predictable, scalable with hardware. Diagonal will help that, alongside scalable with latency. Proof of work secured, capable of absorbing full proofs directly on chain. And then an even smaller list of what chains must have to achieve as well is Vprogs. The ability to make things a lot cheaper and a lot faster as well. Vprogs introduce a paradigm most chains cannot replicate. Proof, which is no VM in VM capacity, no runtime safety trap, static compile time guarantees, deterministic verifications, hardware linear scaling, zero congestion for proof storm. This turns Kaspa into the first layer 1 capable of ingesting industrial scale ZK workloads natively on chain. It's not about money. It's more about money. It's not about theory. Vprogs reduce generation cost, verification costs, settlement congestion costs. It is innovative in all elements of it. And it goes on more here as well, which I don't understand actually why this post is one that got almost 10,000 views compared to this one that only got 1,000. I don't understand why that's happened that way, but again, just goes into more detail about that here as well, about they're giving further clarification as to why ZKs are so important, why Kaspa is the best platform for it, and why it's going to therefore get to take over the crypto world in the years to come, when ZKs become the backbone of crypto going forward, and everyone wants to have ZK proofs, everyone tries to implement it, and their whole system bottlenecks because they can't handle it. Kaspa is the only one that can do that at scale. And of course, you got knowing that you got entities like KRI, DRI with their institutional partners who are also leveraging or wanting to leverage technology because they understand that this is the future. Part 1 is about architecture, part 2 about economics, and part 3 is going to be about the Kaspa Trinity. So we'll be talking about that when this post comes out. But this is really, I mean, if you weren't bullish on Kaspa, or you were feeling a little bit conflicted about Kaspa recently due to the price action, that should be enough to let you know that maybe short term, who knows, but long term, there's nothing that will compete with Kaspa. A lot are going to fall off and fail because they cannot handle the workload, the congestion, the future to be with crypto and blockchain. Kaspa is the only one that can handle that because it is decentralized, because it has the infrastructure necessary to be able to handle ZK proofs at scale, with Vprogs as well, making it so much faster, so much better. Welcome back, family. It's been a minute. You're doing very, very well. Double D, welcome back, brother. I mentioned many times Kaspa is the only platform that can handle the entire world transactions. Mara knows this. Oh, I agree. I mean, I've been saying the same thing myself. You have got those who claim to be able to, Ripple XRP being the main element of that, but they can't handle that. And also, they aren't decentralized, which is a very, very big issue. A very, very big issue. And that's something we're going to get to in a short moment as well. It's clear that Mara knows what Kaspa represents. I mean, it makes complete sense why Marathon decided to mine Kaspa, and while selling a lot of it off to offset their balance sheet and to make some money, but they are still mining it, and they're actually starting to slowly but surely increase their allocation. If they didn't believe in Kaspa, they would have sold it all off by now. They're still holding on to it because they believe in it, and that's probably the reason why. In 5 years, you'll be saying, wow, it was at 4 cents at the end of 2025. If only I'd known. Yeah. I cannot even envision where Kaspa will be in 5 years, because this space could go parabolic in that time frame, especially if Vprogs, Stagnite, MEP oracles, ZK Opcodes, all this stuff comes out, and the space transforms the way that institutional research suggests it will do. It will be insane. Welcome back, Bingo Bango, you're doing very, very well, brother. Best tweets about Kaspa. Yeah, this tweet is insane. Like, don't get me wrong, there are elements to it that will probably go over my head because that's the one thing, that's the reason why James Allen here decided to make a video on this, because he was excited by hearing about it, and he's of course dev. He's a dev. He knows how to develop. He's created his own platform. So he able to understand the technical element of it and explain it in normie terms. I am unfortunately not a dev. I'm just someone who believes wholeheartedly in Kaspa, and I like to try and provide clarity about what's going on in the ecosystem as much as I can do. And that's why I'm talking here about what James Allen said here about why these posts are so big. So while these posts are seemingly catered more towards the dev side of things, which is exciting, it also talks quite heavily. James Allen brings it down into normie terms so we can understand why it's such a big deal. And then the element of Vprogs is also extremely big as well. And I'm sure we'll hear more clarification come on as the time goes on. When Vprogs, we don't know. Some are saying next year. I'm not so sure. I think it'll probably be a bit longer unless we get some funding very quickly. But the fact that it's in the works and nothing else is remotely close to even trying to attempt this, I'm still optimistic. In a few months, they'll start talking about Kaspa left and right, and we'll know who was there in the high and lows. Yeah, everyone here, every one of us here, and even those who either just lurking about or even those who are not even tuning in yet, we will know exactly those who've been convicted and known the truth for a while, as opposed to those who are just kind of following the hype train. But you know, eventually everyone will come to Kaspa. That much for me, I do believe. Manjay, indeed. Welcome back, brother. Damn, didn't get a notification. Yeah, welcome back, baby daddy. I think that might have been quite a large scale thing, because if I look at my stream right now, there's currently about, it says 13 people viewing it right now, which is crazy low for me. I normally average about 50, so I've only got 13 people viewing it right now. So something tells me that, to be fair, I did upload a video on my channel, not even an hour ago. So maybe YouTube conflicted the upload 40 minutes ago. So maybe YouTube didn't like the fact that I made a video and went live almost instantly. Hence why I'm not getting any viewership. But I've only got 13 views, and that's quite rare for me. I'm normally averaging about 50. So I think YouTube just didn't send out any notifications at all. I'll make an announcement in the Discord just in case. Right. I'm surprised that yeah, I think YouTube are just doing some funny thing right now, because maybe I just got boring. Who knows? But it's quite rare for me to have a viewership number as low as 14. I think even when I first started streaming, I had more than that. I had 30, I think, back then. So I think YouTube are just playing a funny thing right now. But hey, I mean, it is what it is. You guys get an exclusive stream then, basically. I saw an article where XRP system crashed back in February. I haven't seen that, although I wouldn't be surprised. I know I have heard XRP maximalists say, well, XRP has never gone down, yada, yada, yada. I haven't seen proof to support nor debunk that, because I haven't looked too hard into it. But it wouldn't surprise me, because the amount of work they're trying to onboard, the entire financial system, real world use case, they haven't got the infrastructure to do that. It's going to be bottlenecks. It's going to go down. Right now, you see some YouTubers start talking about Kaspa again, but they don't really know what it represents and have mixed opinions. Yeah. I mean, people have found Kaspa now. Either they saw Kaspa ages ago, forgot about it because it did really well, they couldn't latch onto it, and now they're back in when it's really, really undervalued. They're like, oh yeah, it sounds really, really cool. I want it, but like they haven't been here like we have been for over the year when we saw the birth of we saw Marathon announce mining Kaspa here, when actually they started mining it back down here. We saw the birth of KRI around here and KF equally around here. We saw the launch of the KRC20s and the launch of Casplex down here as well. The launch of Kraken around here as well. Or actually, the Kraken was around here. I mean, point is, we've been here through all the big milestone announcements, and then it's called 10 BPS right here, the biggest milestone to date for Kaspa. We've been here through all of that. Everyone who's coming in now, I'm sure. I mean, again, if they put the research and the time in, then it's fine. Like, I have no qualms about anybody getting involved in Kaspa. By all means, do your research and learn more, understand why we're here, and welcome to the family. But yeah, we have been here much longer, and I think it's nice that our community is still so tight knit. slowly coming back. Let's hope for a small rally towards 12 cents, so the hype returns, then Dagnite, Vprogs, and into infinity and beyond. Yeah, I mean, 12 cents would be very, very nice. I hope we surpass 12 cents. How soon is tough to determine. I think it depends. The Market Clarity Act, the regulations could end up bringing more adoption, more catalyst, more development, a quicker price trajectory going up. It's possible. But I'm not so convinced right now, if I'm honest. I think I'm in the current sentiment, which is, again, it's rare for me to be like this because I am normally a lot more bullish. But I am currently leaning more towards the conservative side, of where I think we might see a bit more tough times in the next coming weeks. You might see some good relief rallies in the coming days and whatnot with the FOMC meeting, but I don't think this end of this year will be as big as people think, unless the market structure build does cause a big rally up. It's always possible, but I'm not. I think we might have to wait more so until 2026 to see a big push. But that's fine. I have more time to accumulate a discount, therefore. Most of our technically ignorant. James explains it well to my fifth grade English kid. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's you got a big divide between Kaspa and crypto. Of course, mainly Kaspa, Bitcoin as well. Then you've got an equally quite big divide between the Kaspa tech savvy people and the normies who just who believe it's the future, but we can't always understand exactly why. We just see these big buzzwords and like, oh, it sounds really, really cool. We ask AI, give us an explanation, and it helps, but AI is not perfect, right? James here, someone who's actually been involved in it, understands it, and he's breaking it down so we normally can understand. I think that's, again, a really, really good thing. So yeah, fantastic stuff, honestly. Fantastic stuff indeed. And now we've got people like Angel here, who is the director of Baltics and Latin America, who's trying to build the Lemon Bush Capital, the investment fund for Kaspa. He has served in Ecuador as a legal counsel for 5 Fortune 500 global companies, Chinese stated-owned enterprises. So, huge deal. He's very deeply connected, advising Chinese companies across the border, invest in projects in Ecuador and South America infrastructure. He has 12 years in legal experience, so he's a lawyer. So he's a lawyer who wants to help oversee a Kaspa-focused qualified investment fund of up to 500 million, which is insane. So this is the reason why they're so bullish. This sort of element here, James helps kind of break it down in more normal terms. We cover it here, and then we see the stuff here as well. So we see, while it's a lot of theory and proof and that kind of explanations right now, this will correlate to actual development and therefore growth in the ecosystem, because people will start realizing it and jumping on board as well. The investments are going to come through as well as just stepping stone process. And yeah, I can see we're all here. It's great to see us all, brother. Welcome back. Sup, bro? What Kaspa category are you in? I believe I said I'm a whale. Well, no, I said I joked about last stream. No, I joked about last stream saying that I was well, I joked about a while back saying that I was a fish, which people did not believe me at all, believing that I was a fish. And I mean, yeah, fair enough. I guess it's not that believable. I'm sitting in dolphin. Well, I'm sitting like in between dolphin shark category, around there. I think I'm just below. I'm just below 1 million. I'm gonna buy some to get over 1 million this week. I got notification from streams, just having to be looking for something to listen to. Yeah, I that's what I mean. I don't know I think YouTube just messed up today, because I'm looking at it right now. I've got 9 viewers, which is rare. Of course, people just tune in and learn depth now. It's fine, but my streams normally average 50 views, so I think YouTube's not sent out a notification at all to people. People are not aware that I've gone live. I don't know what happened. Yo, I'm here, but I'm just late. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back, Greg. You're doing very, very well, brother. Great to have you back again, brother. But yeah, so that to answer your question, Jay Cash, I'm sitting. Alright, these upper levels here, and yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next section of the video or the stream right now. So one thing that, as we have talked about, regulations are the biggest hurdle for institutions to get into crypto. One of my premium insights from Signum Bank, we just talked about that here, about what are your primary reasons for not investing in crypto, which the main one is regulatory uncertainty, which is crazy. But that also is why it's so important that we see the release of the Clarity Act, the market structure bill, and other regulations all around the world. You also got the elements of custody and security concerns, lack of trust, access volatility, and other elements as well that also are concerns. But the main one right now is regulatory uncertainty. You are seeing development from the OCC, the SEC, the CFTC as well, all are taking means to advance regulation, which is good. But we need to see the market structure bill being the biggest element that will push forward regulations. I'm not going to play the interview clip here because the interview clip is actually very, very quiet. I had to 20 times the volume on the recording that I made here. So you can listen to the whole interview and the whole video talking about this section right here. But yeah, it's basically just Paul Atkins, the SEC chairman, basically just saying we will end up probably, hopefully, seeing the crypto market structure bill coming out in the brain's gone. Give me a sec. Before the end of the year. Sorry, before the end of the year, hopefully. In a few months, or in a month or so, is what he said. So that would be a very big deal, and especially it'd be big for Kaspa. The reason why is because of what the Clarity Act market structure bill represents. Again, I've got a lot more detail in the video, but to make the key point, the market structure bill gives a clear guideline for institutions, for everyone, retail institutions, banks, governments, on what is a security and what is a commodity. Which is very, very important, because you're a security, you know, no one's going to touch you. If you're a commodity, people want to utilize you and see what you're about. So this is why, building back into this here about, 99% of chains can't handle future prover economics, can't handle ZK proofs. It's also 90% of cryptos are going to end up going to zero because of that, and also because of this, because one key element to qualify as mature, to basically be deemed as a commodity, one of them is not to be subject to control of a single person or group, including by holding 20% or more of the tokens, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous because that means pretty much every project in this space is going to go to zero, because most of these projects are proof of stakes, and they own, the insiders own over 50% or higher numbers of the supply, or they divvy it out to VCs or insiders or whatnot. I saw something earlier from an XRP stream, because I saw it and I was like, that looks really, like the clickbait title, to be honest, it got me. I was like, what's that about? And it spoke about how Ripple and XRP had a $40 billion valuation, but interestingly, they didn't include the escrow into that. The escrow is the locked up tokens that has over 50%. So basically, Ripple have locked up and control of 50%, but they didn't include escrow in the valuation, which is, they'll question out why they do that. You could argue the reason why, because they don't want it to be known, or they've got some sort of workaround to this. But Ripple and XRP, they are one of literally thousands of crypto projects that are claiming decentralization but are centralized, which is an issue. It's a really big issue. So it's an issue, but it also puts Kaspa in a broader light, because Kaspa is a fair launch project. It's truly decentralized. You can look here right now, the top holders, 20%, but that's top 10 addresses, and they are different entities. We don't know who that is, Entity X. That's a MEXC account, that's a Gate account, that's a Bybit account. I think there's one of these is Kraken, Uphold, so these are different entities as well. But you can see right here, there's nobody that has 20%. So, Kaspa, again, fair launch, no pre-allocation to miners or to the devs, no VC backing, fair launch, proof of work. It is decentralized. So in this instance, therefore, crypto's going to get screwed. Kaspa's going to come out on top as a result of that, which is, for me, very, very important. Welcome back. Indigenous, so you're doing very, very well. And YouTube Greza and YouTube Kryptoni, yeah. I'm going to assume that is partly my bad, and the reason why is because I did upload a video less than an hour ago, and I want to believe that YouTube, being the app that it is, didn't like the fact that I uploaded a video and then a live stream within the same period of time, and therefore didn't send out a notification, which is ridiculous, to be honest, because why not? I don't understand why it's an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, we've been going through the stream so far for about half an hour, which is crazy. And yeah, we just basically spoke about the thread here, going into what James Allen was talking about here, about why Zcash is so big for crypto, why it's going to be the future of crypto, and how Kaspa is the only platform that can handle that. They spoke about Vprogs, about how it basically just makes it all cheaper as well and faster, which is a lot better as well. Again, something only Kaspa can do. And then also explaining why you've got entities like Angel, who is very deeply connected, who want to try and build $500 million investment funds because they see what's being built with Kaspa and they believe in its future. And then we're just talking about regulatory uncertainty right now, which basically just comes from the fact that, we're seeing regulatory uncertainty being the biggest hurdle for institutions not to get involved into crypto. And we know the market structure bill will be coming out ideally before the end of the month, which would be a very big development, very big deal. And with that actually is a big boon for crypto, for clarity, but also ends up hindering most projects because they do not constitute to a commodity, because they'll fail in one of these categories. They will not be mature because they'll fail in one of these categories. Either they're not open sourced, they are not functional for executing transactions, accessing services, or participating in the transaction validation of decentralized governance processes. They operate upon pre-established transparent rules. They probably don't. But the biggest one why they will all fail is because they hold more than 20% of the tokens. So it's crazy. It's crazy to see that. But it also means you've got a benefit for Kaspa, therefore, because Kaspa, of course, is the only asset right now that fits that category. Well, Bitcoin as well. And then in the video that I made, I also kind of just broke down why that in itself is big. But you've got to remember that the United States is not the only country in the world. Their regulations are going to help boost crypto a lot. But then you've got regulations all over the world that differ. The United States are going through a very innovation-first approach, kind of just free reign, just get stuff out there, which we're happy about. The UK and the EU are much more restrictive. And the problem is with such differing regulatory frameworks, and you've got differences in Asia as well, the problem with that is it creates this global fragmentation, which in the last two premium insight reports that I have posted to my VIP community, one from Ernst & Young and one from JP Morgan Chase, they both highlight the errors and the issues that come with global fragmentation. This would force businesses to prioritize resilience, safety, over efficiency, and therefore hindering growth. And the only solution to that requires a payment and settlement layer that can function across borders without relying on centralized authorities or geographically specific infrastructures. There are not many solutions out there that can do that, besides Bitcoin or Kaspa compliant stablecoins. You're seeing what these institutions are talking about right now, the actions for the firms, what they're going to take, what they're going to take into consideration. This stuff is available on my Twitter as well, so as Krypton's already posted it in, you can follow me on Twitter, you can see some of the posts I made there occasionally. You can also find access to the whole information and document in the VIP as well. But again, you see this international push and pull have resulted in a more fragmented regulatory architecture, complicating compliance efforts of multinational organizations to adopt consistent global risk management frameworks. So if you are an institution that has jurisdiction in multiple elements of the world, you're going to struggle right now because you've got regulatory frameworks in the EU, which is very restrictive, UK, not the same, but still quite restrictive, but it's not the same as the EU, and then you've got the US, which is completely different. It causes issues across the board. So then how are you going to manage, how are you going to circumvent that? Well, this causes a global fragmentation issue. Kaspa, with a blockchain architecture and a forthcoming DAG Knight, is the only true decentralized proof of work protocol that is exponentially resilient to geopolitical fragmentation. JP Morgan are saying that they are looking for businesses with pricing power in critical sectors such as semiconductors, data centers, energy, and transport. You can see that right here. So they all accept that there's an issue right now, which crypto would solve. But then you've got the idea that not these cryptos aren't decentralized, so they don't completely solve it. There's only one that actually solves the issue of crypto. Solves the issue of global fragmentation. Kaspa solves the issue of crypto. That's the quote. That's how I'm going to put it down. And JP Morgan are accepting that. And then you've got to remember, JP Morgan's saying that that's a very, very big deal, because you've got entities like the KRI and DRI who have huge institutional partners who are looking at Kaspa now, who are building these, who are tapping into the energy market, data centers, transport, all the stuff with Kaspa infrastructure. They're minting energy tickets right now on Kaspa. It's insane. Kaspa is not a cryptocurrency, it's an infrastructure tool for delivering a solution to this industrial sector. JP Morgan, Ernst & Young, and the rest will realize it if they haven't done so already, which they have. They have done so already. Again, you've got all the institutions here and more who recognize Kaspa, one of them being the biggest Chinese company in the world, top 3 Fortune 500 company. It's ridiculous. Kaspa is very well positioned right now. It's going to shock a lot of people, in my belief. As a final point, we also got this here as well, which is why Ondu is doing decent today. Currently up about 5%, because the SEC has finally ended its 2-year investigation into them, which paves the way for tokenization, which is also great for crypto, for BlackRock as well. SEC has closed its investigation into tokenization firm Ondu Funds without recommending any changes, or any charges even. Which, it began in October 2023 under Gary Gensler, and now it's finally come to an end, which is fantastic, marking another reversal for the Biden-era regulatory action against a digital asset company. And that makes it another massive rollback after seeing the dismissal of Coinbase's lawsuit, Ripple's lawsuit, and Cracker's lawsuit, and many others as well. So it's going to be a big boost for tokenization. You can see Atkins said distributed ledger technology and tokenization of financial assets, including securities, have the potential to transform our capital markets. They want to fast forward. This is why they're doing it right now. So this is equally very, very bullish news for Ondu and for the general outlook of crypto going forward as well. Again, supporting more. America's very, very supportive of innovation right now. Could be a downfall going forward because you're not seeing any form of. That's again why the institutions have been so standoffish, because you've got UK and EU very restrictive, and they're causing issues in their own regard because they're too restrictive. They can't allow innovation, and the US is so innovation that they don't know what is in the scam right now. That's why you need the clarity to come out. But they're taking the right measures and right steps right now, I believe. So that's good to see. Very, very good to see. Yeah, the stuff I put. Yeah, I made sure to load up a lot of the stuff that you posted as well. A lot of good source today, honestly. It's normal there's no notification. They don't want the word of Kaspa to spread now. They're muzzling Jay. Yeah, we've got to do our best job now to spread Kaspa's word now. If I'm getting suppressed now, it's gonna be a long month, that's for sure. Or a long year. Kaspa is a cryptocurrency. I mean, it is, but the way it's okay. No, it is a cryptocurrency, 100%. It's cryptocurrency, but the way that it is being portrayed to institutions is as an infrastructure tool, not as a cryptocurrency. So that helps bridge the gap. Because institutions right now, they don't like the idea. There's a reason why no one says crypto. They say digital assets. Because crypto has a negative light behind it. It is what it is. It is a cryptocurrency, but that's the negative light. So they have changed to digital assets. Kaspa has been changed in the eyes of institutions to an infrastructure tool, because that gives it even more. It makes it look even better, basically. But there's no difference. It's just a different word. Is one of the only two crypto. Yeah, I mean, again, you're also right. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and Kaspa are the only two cryptocurrency. Everything is a crypto token. It's a difference as well. It was invented to be the new infrastructure to replace banks. Yeah, and you'll see banks jump on board most likely, but it will replace it as well. CC made a deal with YouTube to establish Kaspa influencers. Wouldn't surprise me, baby daddy. Wouldn't surprise me at all. After the whole Binance boycotting thing, he might just want to get his own lick back. Cryptocurrency is infrastructure. Yeah, it is. Cryptocurrency is not just simply the coin, it is the protocol underlying, thing underneath it. That is where the coin sits upon. Coin's just a transaction mechanism, but Caspa's not the coin. It's just an instant of a coin. Kaspa is the whole entire technological stack underneath it. The coin is just what you use to send gas fees back and forth. That's all it is. And Kaspa can have elements in regards to being a governance token as well, which technically is being a proof of work. Those have a lot of the supply control, more or less how the price fluctuates, how the ecosystem functions. There'll be actual governance systems set up in the future as well, I'm sure. Unless risk on assets see massive increases in a crazy amount of QE and liquidity injections, I'm low-key paying for next cycle. Yes and no. Yes and no. I agree we need to see QE and liquidity injection. That's why Wednesday is so important for what Jerome Powell's going to say. But the idea that next cycle, we don't know when next cycle is going to be. Like I still wholeheartedly believe, again, this based on my information as well, the next cycle is not going to be 2-3 years from now. I still wholeheartedly believe that this cycle is going to take a break, but it's going to come back in 2026. That's my belief right now. Of course, not financial advice. You've got to do your own research. My research told me you might see stagnation and just lack of movement around maybe this region or a bit lower for a few months possibly. And then eventually when the regulators come out and you see new Fed chair, Trump midterms and whatnot, you might start seeing volatility return, money printing, and price go up therefore. But I think you'll see price all-time highs come back in next year, which typically, if you're going from bull to bear, you're waiting another 3-4 years to see another all-time high peak. I'm thinking you're going to see it next year. That's my personal belief. Of course, do your own research. I provide all information and sources to that in my VIP. In fact, all information regarding cycle extension theory has been posted on my Twitter. From Grayscale, from BitGet, from Forbes, from Signum Bank, from Bitwise, from just for so many other institutions like that that posted about it. We found out about it a long time ago and we continue talking about it. You can find out all the information in the VIP here, alongside documentation like these, so you can read through them. JP Morgan's document from a few days ago, and equally Ernst & Young from I think 4 days ago. You can find documentation like this as well, which gives, this is a over 100-page alpha research document, which just gives into a lot of detail about everything to take into account going into next year as well. So we are very well prepared for what these institutions believe is going to happen, and therefore we're compiling it together to make our own theories as well. And then we see what's being built on Kaspa right now, so we're also prepared for that as well, which is fantastic. Everything 48 hours, yeah, that's going to be huge. Looking forward to that. Welcome back, Queen. You're doing very, very well. Hey Jay, hope you're well. It's been a long time. Took a needed break from the market and my job. I see a turnaround head ahead for the new year. I'm glad you had that time off. Yes, you definitely need that every now and then, taking to touch some grass, taking some time away from crypto Twitter especially, be in the markets as well. I think, yeah, definitely a smart thing for you to do. Good to have you back, no doubt. Hope to see a lot more of you soon, or a lot more of you continuing being in here, issue at the time. And yeah, I hope we do see a turnaround as well. I'm hopeful that next year is going to be that year. Right now, my belief is next year is going to be a big year still for crypto, and Kaspa as well, with what's going to be coming out. My argument isn't that if it is an infrastructure, it isn't crypto. Right, okay. So there's stuff like ETH, Solana, and other tokens that want to be crypto. They are just sitting on top of Web2 infrastructure. They're not actually, so ETH, XRP, they are perceived as cryptocurrencies, they're perceived as decentralized, but they're actually just using the similar technology, but they're not crypto, because cryptocurrencies are decentralized. I see what you mean. When QE, I need to upgrade my girlfriend. QE, we have no idea. You have got accounts like Bar Chart, who's basically giving insight that suggests that QE is kind of starting already in a sense, but it's not. It's not as black and white as that. Where's the post? Yeah. Federal Reserve expected to begin buying back at all-time high. So there's a belief of that. You'll start buying back. We are out of consensus early in size. So they expect we'll start seeing some big buybacks coming out soon. But this is not QE yet. We've seen the end of QT. QE is going to start through, but they're gonna have to. They actually will announce QE. If they start buying back more, that'd be fantastic. But I'm not entirely sure when it's going to happen. I don't think it'll happen just yet. Again, we'll find out a lot more hopefully on Wednesday. Welcome back, Crypto Tech OD. If a big player like Saylor or Musk will not take position, I don't think that Kaspa will succeed. I disagree. 10 BPS did nothing. I mean, again, this is something that I have reiterated time and time again. 10 BPS is a technology stack. It's a building block. If you are expecting Dag Knight, Vprogs, 10 BPS to do price moves, then you're thinking about it all wrong. 10 BPS did this for Kaspa, a 50% move, but it was also a foundation building block. It helps increase the finality of Kaspa, makes things quicker. But it doesn't. You still need adoption to come on board. So you're right in saying that we need adoption. I agree about we need adoption. I don't think we need Saylor or Musk to make that adoption happen. I think they'll come when they come. 10 BPS did nothing in regards to price moves, yes, but that's expected. I said that months prior to that. I said it when it happened. I say it even now. Don't expect these technological building blocks and foundations to pump the price. When Dag Knight comes out, when Vprogs come out, when Zcash Opcodes come out, they are going to be historic. Game changing for crypto and Kaspa, no doubt. But it's not guarantee a price pump. The price movers are exchange listings. That's the only. It's macroeconomic news, because we're in a macroeconomic cycle, and exchange listings. That's the only thing that pumps the price. 10 BPS, 100 BPS, Dag Knight, Vprogs, they set a foundation for adoption to come on board, and that adoption then generates price flow. But you need the adoption to come on board. The better infrastructure incentivizes them to get on board. Got to understand that. That's the real beauty of crypto. It doesn't need institutions to succeed, just like Bitcoin didn't need it at the beginning, neither did Kaspa. I care to agree. Something happens, so something else is going to happen. Simple crypto technology. I mean, don't throw too much hate at Odie. He's just making his again. This is a free of speech, talk community. You can say what you will. That's perfectly fine. Don't be spreading hate or anything like that. I'll simply just reiterating to Odie in the instance of exactly how these developments correlate to price moves. If you're expecting these to cause price moves, it won't happen like that. I'm not saying that I hate it, just simply about education. In the last cycle, these developments would have caused. In last cycle, 2021, 10 BPS would have caused a big pump. Dag Knight will cause a big pump. In the last cycle, when everything was hype and FOMO driven, we're now going into a utility cycle where you need actual building infrastructure on board to generate revenue flows and to generate price pumps. But not there. Not yet. They're waiting for the Regulatory Clarity Act before they get involved. They're waiting for regulations. Once that comes through, you'll start seeing that build up more and more and more. Again, you want to find that sort of information out and learn a lot more, so check out the VIP. You can learn a lot more in there as well. It gives you even more insights in regards to what we're talking about and prepare yourself accordingly to how the market moves. Could be in the VIP, we're making a lot of very, very good calls right now in regards to market movement, and that's why we're prepared for where we're going to be going soon. Because they're buying over the counter, so it doesn't affect the market price. Right now, he's not bought today. NTX not bought today, but they're buying over the counter. They're not buying on the exchange, like on the market. If they bought on the market, it'd cause a big. If you're buying 33 million Kaspa on the market, that's going to cause a big surge. They're buying over the counter. They're buying behind closed doors, so it's not going to affect the market at all. That's how these big businesses make their money, do their business. They buy it like that. But you'll see a price pump with HTX listing should that come this month. You'll probably see a price pump. How big, we'll have to wait and see. With that being said, family, that does conclude today's Kaspa and Crypto live stream. I apologize for those who turned in late. I don't know why YouTube decided not to send a notification now, and even now, still don't feel like it did to a lot of people as well. But that being said, if you enjoyed, leave a like, share and subscribe for more. You can watch it on playback as well and tune in then. I'll be uploading that very, very shortly. And equally, you can check out the video I posted as well, giving a bit of a rundown about what we spoke about in this stream as well. And check out all the socials, Twitter, Discord, and the VIP Discord as well. Level up in there as well. If you become a member as well, you can also get access to the last live stream we did right now, with this explaining this document in even more detail as well. So yeah, that being said, family, have a great day, good evening, and good night. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.